Hi there, Tripp Isenhour with my good friend Jaime Diaz. We're going to talk about this young phenom. Now joins his fellow teammate Matthew Wolff as a winner on the PGA Tour. Took longer than I thought.
Right. You know, when these guys came up, it was Matthew Wolff, Colin Morikawa, Viktor Hovland, Cameron Champ kind of a little bit more forward, and everybody thought Hovland probably. I say everybody, but guys like yourself who really know the game, he was the insider's choice.
I thought he was a more consistent. Obviously, he did. I mean, at one point in the fall, he had 19 rounds in the 60s. It broke Bob Estes' record from 2002, I believe it was.
That was impressive.
I mean, you know, the guy was playing some impeccable golf, especially through the web.com or the Korn Ferry Tour finals and then into the early part of the season. But then he tapered off and just kind of disappeared. And hey, it is an opposite field event. It's a lesser event by standards, but it's still a win is a win, right?
Plus, he overcame a triple coming down the stretch.
Yeah,
I think it was a great win because he's had some pressure on him to keep up with that peer group, and he probably feels like, God, I kind of got, the short end of the stick not qualifying for the tour last year. He just barely missed and had to go back to the Korn Ferry, so he's been kind of pushed back in terms of the momentum in his career. So he's gutted it out and. That was a microcosm yesterday, you know?
Yeah.
He was in the lead, and then he kind of gave it away, and he fought back. I think that really just, tells him, I got the toughness to handle all this life.
Yeah.
Which is not always a given, no matter how talented you are.
Well, and the putt he made from 35 feet, I mean, and it went in the back. Had not gone in, it would have been by. But you know what? It went in, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah. I got to watch him a lot during the Korn Ferry Tour finals. I was with him most every round he played at some point that was in a TV window, and I was beyond impressed. One of the best drivers of the golf ball I've ever seen as far as straightness and length.
And it shows, and he goes after it so aggressively.
Yes.
But he's on plane and he's square.
Yes.
And the ball doesn't curve very much.
It does not. In fact, one of the only times according to Craig Perks, who's done a ton of TrackMan, where they show the tracer.
Right.
We showed a drive with 0 feet of curve.
Right, I've heard this, and he's made zeros out. Like very few guys do. This guy, Jason Duffner, zeros out. He's more powerful.
Yeah.
And, Jason's, he put some of the greatest ball striking rounds together for a while there, and anybody's ever seen, without a lot of length. He might be the new Jason Duffner in terms of hitting the ball purely and yet also having a winning kind of
I think he's got a better all-around game than Jason. Not to disparage Jason's game.
Not at all,
I played with Jason on the Korn Ferry Tour.
And won the PGA.
And he's a major winner. But I think rounding out as far as abilities going forward, and he's got a great ball striking. The only weakness I saw was mid-range putting. When you're as good a ball striker,
you're going to have a lot of 20-footers.
You're going to have a lot, and you're not necessarily going to make them. But the other thing that I saw that impressed me beyond, it looked like I was watching a 20-year veteran play golf. Never short-sighted himself. Always hit the right shot. Always hit it in the right place.
Wow.
And one of the rounds I remember, he had a great round at the Scarlet Course, Ohio State, in that tournament, and it was precision, like exactly the right club, exactly the right shot, and that was the first time I followed him, and then I got to see it again in Boise, Idaho, and I was like, that is exactly the same kind of golf. I mean, this guy plays impeccably strategic. He's got the ability to back it up. Look, if the putter, and apparently his short game, because he flubbed some chips, I guess, on the way to a triple bogey.
Yeah.
And he has said after, he said, my chipping is not all that great. I got to work on it. I think that's a short-term thing. I think he might always not be the best chipper, but he doesn't have to chip that often because he plays so.
But he also knows in this day and age, everybody analyzes their weakness a lot better because of strokes gained and all those things. And you see guys like Bryson DeChambeau right now is working on his wedges, and you feel like holes will be filled more quickly than perhaps in the past.
Yeah.
I mean, as you know, guys all like to practice what they're good at.
Of course.
And now the coaches have prevailed and go, look, you don't need to hit more balls.
Exactly.
Go over to the chipping green. You want to be better? You want to beat these guys? And I think because the depth is so high, it's so deep, rather, it's important to really acknowledge your weaknesses and work on them. I think the modern player does that a little bit better.
Yeah.
But, Tripp, I've always been so impressed with anyone who played, as you did, when they're effusive about somebody, because it tends to be about the long-term gifts.
Yeah.
And you're looking down the road and going, this guy can do a lot of things right now, but I don't know if that's going to hold up, because I played the tour and I know what it's like after a few years. It gets hard if you have holes in your game. and you're so impressed with this guy in a way that really impresses me.
Yeah.
And I like his whole attitude. I like the way that he seems to love the game. I had one very quick interlude with.
Well, I was going to say you like him so much. You like that. You expected so much. You introduced yourself to him, right? Tell us about how you introduced yourself.
Well, it was right after Pebble where he led it was low amateur and led the field.
It's the U.S. Open.
The U.S. Open at Pebble, which is the most demanding, generally driving course anywhere, and he led the field in strokes gained off the tee.
Yep. And fairways hit.
And really impressive. But
as an amateur.
Yes, and I was at the I was flying to Hartford, and for one of the few times I've ever done, I was on the charter with the players.
Okay.
And we
Lucky man.
It was cool. Yeah. Although they didn't, I don't think they were too happy about who's this guy doing here. But anyway, so I was just keeping a low profile. I got there early to make sure that I would not, miss anything or cause any kind of problem. I just want to be, invisible and go to the back of the plane. So I was the first in line in front of the airport there. That is for the small commuter. The private jet airport. Yeah. So and the gate wasn't open, so I was just waiting. I'd been there. I was about 20 minutes. Finally, the guy goes, "I'm going to open the gate, but you got to back up a little because a car's got to drive out." So, without even thinking anybody else was behind me, because I'd been there alone for a while, right. I backed straight up right into Viktor Hovland's car.
There you go. What a way to introduce
Break my tail light. Didn't do anything to his car. And went over to him, apologized, introduced myself. He couldn't have been nicer.
Yes, he is.
You can tell how fresh-faced he is. I mean, he looks younger than the 22, or what is he, 21?
21, 22 in that range.
So, I don't know. I just got a great impression from him as a kid who, is going to be here for a while. Yeah. And when he is out in public, he's going to present the game in a way that people are going to connect to him.
Yeah, and I think he and Christopher Ventura are going to be the Norwegian Olympic team, or Olympic contingent in Japan. So, look out for them in Japan. He's got podium potential.
Christopher Ventura, you've been studying him too, yeah.
Yeah, but he does, for sure.
There's no question he does.
He could win a medal.
But I'm impressed that you knew who the second player from Norway will be.
Of course.
Well, I thought it might be Suzanne Pedersen, but no. Yes, real homework.
Well, he introduced yourself to Viktor Hovland. We'd like to introduce you to him because he's a great player. He's going to be around for a long, long time. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.